Dude, what's going on, guys? Hey, I was recording an actual live video while this was happening. Damn, I did it live, but I was trading live too. So that's more for the students uploading those videos where they can see the account growth, etc. But anyways, wow, let's talk about this. I mean, this is momentum, guys. So one thing we had was news. We had FOMC member Bostic speaks. One thing about news that you got to pay attention to is if it's saying it's hawkish, expected is good for currency, what does that mean? It means that typically it's going to be going in the direction of that currency. So the US dollar was stronger in this instance, right? And it's good for currency, so it would be pushing UJ to the bullish side. But with news, you can sometimes see like a big bear spike for liquidity, then launch, or it could be good for currency to go bullish, then come down. However, when we have momentum this strong, look how strong this was. This is why I break up all of my days into the 4-hour time frames, because I just wait for a clear, concise trade. And this one could not have been any clearer. The only issue I did was I didn't put more lots, heavier lots, and get more than just 8% account growth. But 8% is 8%. We'll take it, right? We're up 56% for the whole group for the whole week. That was in the past 3 days of trading. So everybody's happy. The students are learning. I'm growing and learning. And we're catching these momentum trades. But look how beautiful this is. So in my previous live video, price was fluctuating down here, and I said I really want price to close above this resistance here in order to continue going bullish, because if we close below that, it could have been a sign of potential rejection to go down and it's not ready to go up yet. But we broke the resistance and we are in between these zones. So as I talked about in the other video, we were in between these zones, right? You can clearly see them by looking at the wicks left. You just look left to see the zones. The next one, if it's going to continue going, is here, etc., right? However, the whole idea is the fact that when you trade momentum, the push happens right now usually. Boom! So let's look. Look in the thumbnails to see my entries. So, you see this candle right here? This is 10 a.m. push. This was news push. This was momentum push. This was everything push. Especially with the cross and even a retest. So we had the cross retest, and the cross is getting bigger, telling us that the momentum is telling us to go bullish. And these are those zones. It looks a little funky, of course. They're 4-hour zones. I mainly draw my zones on 4-hour and then 1 hour. But 4-hour is my main source for zones because I like to see where the momentum is going. And if we're in between zones, that's telling me that we're not going to stop till we go to the next zone. So my initial TP was at 1-2. 1-2. You can see right here. And I did not leave any stop loss in profit to swing. I did leave one stop loss in profit, and then just because of news, sometimes news freaks me out, so I closed it at 7 pips. So I missed out on literally on another like 7 pips, which would have been a potential another 10% account growth for that trade. It's okay, not a big deal. Even if we keep pushing, it doesn't matter. What matters is the fact is that you can consistently catch these types of moves. So the reason for my entries were we closed so strong right on the resistance here with the wick to go fill, but it's telling me that the momentum is bullish, right? Because the 4-hour is telling us that we're going bull, right? The 4-hour close, and we're in between zones. We want to go to the next zone. The currency meter was favoring the US dollar. The US dollar was very strong and the Japanese yen was weak, which typically tells you that going into a trade on momentum, we're going to keep pushing into the direction of that trend. And then, of course, we had the news. And the news, because the news was positive for currency, it helped me understand that, okay, this is probably just going to push up. I normally don't trade news, but news followed on at 10 a.m. today. So that's right on times that I trade. So we bagged another 8% account growth. It was great. Like I said, we're up over 50% for the week between me and the team. So consistently trying to grow an account with them, do live trades with them. And they're seeing this more and more and more. It did go up 19 pips. So, as I said, I missed out on a little bit of opportunity because profit is profit, of course, but my TP was at that next zone here. 1-2. So with this strategy, with trading momentum, you can scalp the swing. That's why I put so many entries sometimes, is because in the first 5-10 pips, you already close half your positions and you already take your account growth. So you've already got all your account growth, and then the rest you usually just scalp the swing, leave stop loss and profits, whatever. But as I said today, I closed down pretty much all my orders, and then I put a stop loss. It was like right around here, and then it was hovering close to my stop loss, and I just panicked, closed, and I closed it, and then it launched up some more. It is what it is. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you can consistently catch momentum pushes. But on trades like this, it is a good idea that you just leave a stop loss in profit, at least one, because what if it keeps going and keeps going and keeps going? Then, oh wow, you just scalp the swing. Great opportunities. However, this is momentum, guys. This was momentum. I shouldn't have traded on the other video that I made. I should have just did commentary, but I don't like trading on the phone, so that's really my only other way of stacking entries on MetaTrader 4. Either I use my phone or I use a computer, and I don't like using the phone because then it's just hard. The phone is stupid. The computer, you have everything. You get like this. You can click buy and sell, and then you can adjust the take profit and the stop losses by clicking and dragging. It's very, very simple compared to the phone. The phone's hard. Then you got to swipe, and then on MetaTrader 4, you can freaking close all with the close all script. So you can just close it, and it'll just go start closing all your orders down by the click of a button. So the phone can't do that. So anyways, I did not get the push, but I did get the push in my Instagram live because I was doing Instagram live, not live, but like I was recording it for my what do you call that thing? Your not channel, but like your story, kind of Instagram story, yeah. So I was recording it as it was going. But anyways, this is very clear momentum. Like you can definitely see this is where your zones come in. This is why when people draw up way too many zones, I'm like, you need to stop drawing so many zones. Like this is how I draw my zones, straight up. Like I like to have at least 2 zones only on the screen. Always 2, because you got to have support and resistance, right? And you can see, okay, well, if we just move this up, we closed above support, above resistance, and we're in between zones. This is where my next zone was. So this is where the momentum is going. We want to reach that next zone after we just finished off such a strong bullish push. I didn't trade this morning 6 a.m. Look at the 6 a.m. push. Look, with the wick to go fill following momentum. And look what that was. Already 30 pips. Since this morning, and it went 48 pips. If I would have had entries in down here, it would have, with the 6 entries that I placed on this trade, that easily would have been 200% account growth. Easily. With the lot sizes compared to account size with pips equaling out percentage. So, I mean, it's just that simple. It's not like the hardest thing in the world, guys. You guys are overcomplicating it. I overcomplicate it sometimes. Your emotions get involved. Literally, these are the types of trades that you can trade one a week, going heavy margin, take all your percent, and then you don't need to trade anymore. Just looking for one of these a week. And we've already had multiple this week. We just traded this one last night. This was our last night we traded this, me and the team. I mean, that was already one. And then, of course, I didn't trade London. This was in the London. And then 2 a.m. And then I didn't trade 6 a.m. this morning, but I caught this one. It was perfect. The only mistake I made was I didn't leave my stop loss in profit. That was a mistake. Because all my entries were here. And my stop loss was here, below the recent resistances. That's how I gauge where I place my stop loss. Even if it's 14 pips, and even if I only close at 10 pips, so you say, well, Kyle, your stop loss is greater than your TP. But it doesn't matter because you just want to allow breathing room. Because if you're in profit and you didn't close in profit, what if you're a pip away from your TP? Well, and you didn't close, well, that was your fault. So I only allow, I put my stop loss, and I allow the stop loss only for the range that price can just range in. It doesn't matter if it's 13 pips or 20 pips, or 30 pips. I would never allow a trade to go 30 pips and draw down. But if you're in this kind of drawdown, if you're a scalper like I am, usually you just typically lost the trade. But when you're trading momentum, and we're saying, well, we have 4-hour momentum, so you have to know where you place your stop losses. And the way I gauge my stop losses is below the most recent support. If we're going bullish, my stop loss is below the most recent support. So again, you just kind of get an idea. So this is around where my stop loss is, around 13 pips. And then I close at 12 pips. But it doesn't mean that my risk to reward is bad, because part of trading is when you're going to close. You got to know when you're going to close. Like, look, price went 22 pips. I only closed at 12. I missed out on half of it. My fault. But it went 22 pips. So if you look at that risk to reward, now that's double. So now that's 1 to 2. Well, that's great. Who can argue with 1 to 2? Nobody can really argue with 1 to 2. So your stop loss does not have to just be like 5 pips and take profit of 10 every time. Because what if your most recent support is 15 pips away? Well, if you only gave it 5, you didn't allow the breathing room, and then you psych yourself out of the trade, and then you don't readapt and attack and get in. So it's just psychological differences. The only reason why most people struggle in trading is because number one, they don't have a trading plan, and number two, they psych themselves out. They enter too early. They don't wait for confirmation. And in this case, we waited for confirmation. I waited all morning to trade this, and we close above resistance. We have a wick to go fill, but most importantly, we have momentum, and we're in between zones. Because look at the wicks to the left. This wick, that's the next zones. So I shorted myself this morning, but it doesn't matter. Profit is profit. 8% is better than no percent, right? It could have been 20% maybe. If I do the math, this probably would have ended up being maybe 20%, maybe more than 20%. But 10% today, 10% tomorrow, 10% at the end of the week, you have 50% for the week. It's great. It's really, really good. But this is very simple. And then, of course, you guys know with following the momentum, if you guys are watching my other videos, right, with my trading plan. Let's just walk you through my plan a little bit again. Oops, it was right here. This is my plan for our group. This is just stuff that we study, just, things that we work on, right? This is just, these here are only just kind of PDFs. But then in, Sims, in our books, and we have all the books and everything. Of course, this is our plan. So we got to go to the plan, and let's go through our checklist again. I'm going to go through the checklist, right? Kyle, do not trade. Did I have a headache? No. If I'm mad, was I mad? No. I was already entered. Was I sad? No. Did I just have an argument with someone? Kind of. I actually did, but I was already entered into the trade. If you cannot spot momentum, no trade. This is the biggest thing, guys. If you can't spot momentum, no trade. No momentum, no trade. That's it. What do we have? We already had momentum. The 4-hour time frame is how we base our momentum, and the daily. Look how strong it was. Why would it stop? Okay. So we spotted momentum. So trade if you can clearly see which direction momentum is going. We clearly can see which direction momentum was going. Did we identify structure? No. But from looking at the way price was closing, this was my structure because we already were having, like, there's no higher high and higher low here really on the 15-minute, but on the 5-minute there was. It's just making these higher highs and higher lows. But on the 15-minute, we were setting up using the 14 EMA as a dynamic support with this new higher high and a higher low failing to break, using the 14 EMA as a dynamic support, using the whole cross and the distancing of the EMAs as confluence. So there is our, this is our structure. And currency meter, this is our bonus. Was it in favor of trend? Yes. Currency meter was in favor of trend, especially following the news. The US dollar, look, it's still strong. USD Jappy is probably not done, guys. It is probably not done. It's probably going to see another push happen soon because the US dollar is so strong. We're probably not done. Oh, we already came to the top of here. Look, this is how zones work, guys. Look. Look left. You see this little guy here? Look. Boom, look where it touched. Exact same thing. This is how you can range where your take profit is. This is why my take profit that I range was to the top of this wick. I won 2. That's why the TP was 12 pips. Right? At the top of 1-2. That's where my TP was. You guys saw in the Instagram live video or whatever, the freaking story. But then where's the next one? Look at it. It doesn't have to go to the top of the wick. It usually just can go in between the wick. But in this case, it went to the very top. So this should have been my TP too. Just to have a scalp to swing. And just remove your emotions, put stop loss and profit, and let it do its thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, the last thing you want to do is just hawk the chart and just be like, oh, well, I missed it. Should we enter buys now? No. If you miss the momentum, don't worry. Enter on the pullback. But in this case, we already have reached the next zone. So this is not a time that you're looking to get in anymore. But can she still go? Yes. But we'll see how she handles this zone. This might be a reversal area. We may have just from news spiked this, and we may just have a reversal. Maybe we pull down, and for Asian open, maybe we just have more momentum going bullish. Because by the time the market opens for Asian, look how strong this is. If it closed here, maybe it's going to keep going up bullish a bit. You know what I mean? But we caught the momentum. That's all that mattered. We caught it. So I know these videos are helping a lot of people because I'm getting tons of feedback. So thank you. I appreciate it. I'm just trying to help. This is how I see the market. When I draw up zones, I literally, because I like to trade momentum when it happens right now. Boom! I like pushes to happen right now. So my zones, I literally only usually have up 2. That's it. And I like to see if we're in between a zone or not. And that's how I gauge my momentum. With take profit being in between, so then you can get an idea of where price is going to go. And then you let the chart do its thing. That's it. My risk to reward was basically the same today. Could it kept on going? Yes. You just want to leave your stop loss to have room to breathe. And it was making higher lows here, right? So because we can't ignore the fact that we are making higher lows. And this was a higher high. So we definitely can't ignore this as structure still. Kind of 2 higher highs. It just was making like a double top. But it was using this 14 EMA as a dynamic support. And you can see off the 5-minute, like look how it was setting up. And it closed above resistance here. You see how it closed above? So there's your push. Boom. A guy that I've been growing close with over the years, Jason. Jason has an amazing Forex Enlightenment group. But this is literally the only trade he ever takes is like a break and a pullback and then a retest or whatever. And this is his exact same setup, guys. It's his exact same setup. You just wait for the break. Look how perfect the setup was. She wanted to go. These are heavy margin trades. You just start stacking up, guys. Take your percentage and call it a day. Although I just sound like a big talker because all I did was bag 8% today, but 8% is 8%. I'm happy with 8%. It's okay. Tomorrow we catch 20. We've been catching 20% back to back for 2 days in a row with the team. So it just depends on what your trading plan is and what you try to do, right? This is the biggest thing that anybody can ever tell you, right? In Forex trading, you want to trade around high probability. That's it. That's the most important thing. How do you know when high probability is? You focus on higher time frame. You focus on when it rejected a zone. You focus on if it's in between the zones. You focus on the structure and don't overcomplicate it. That's all I got for you today, guys. If you're new to my Instagram, if you're new to my YouTube, you can follow me. My email is, my Facebook is, my Instagram is, and that's it, guys. That's really it. That's all I got for you. It's very simple. You know, you just need chart time yourselves. You need to practice this yourselves. That's it. In the near future, we will be launching another Wick Fill Wizards group. It's the same group. You get access to the same drive. You get access to the same Google Drive. You get the same trading plans. You get the same everything. There's no different. It's not like, oh, it's a new group with new information. No, but although we consistently are changing our trading plan and we're consistently adding new things with useful PDFs. Even the members have made their own version of my trading plan. So we have these are just trades that we've done. We have times to check. We have literally any pair you really want. We only did it for a few pairs, but we have the times that you need to check. What times for momentum? Our plan. Look, our time zone converter. We did a time zone converter. Thank you very much for the people who contributed to this inside the group, and they made this for our group. Where if you're in these specific time zones, this is the time the 4-hour pushes happen. And like I always tell you guys, you have 6 opportunities a day. So this is just an idea of what it looks like with 10% account growth. You know, we have a lot of stuff for the group about price action, introduction. There's so many good things, guys. This is not me just promoting this. I just get really excited because like I'm growing too. Like I'm growing as an individual helping these people. And it's whatever you can do to give back. Like, we have everything that you need. This is a trading plan that already is working. Like, it's already an effective trading plan. You just have to change the way you see the market into the trading plan to make it more suit you, because you are you and Kyle is Kyle. That's it. But we keep it simple, guys. This is momentum. All right. See you on the next one.